Politically, I'm a classic British liberal. Temperamentally, I'm high in openness, which tilts me to the left, although I am also conscientious, which tilts me to the right. Philosophically, I am an individualist, not a collectivist of the right or the left. Metaphysically, I'm an American pragmatist who has been strongly influenced by the psychoanalytic and clinical thinking of Freud, Jung, and the psychotherapists who have followed in their wake. I've also produced a series of individual self-development programs now used by thousands of people to strengthen themselves as individuals, determine their proper and honorable destinies, and live productive, meaningful lives. I'm a university professor, a clinical psychologist, and a public intellectual whose primary goal is the psychological and metaphysical strengthening and fortification of the individual. Clean up your room.
So, on the face of it, Jordan Peterson's clean your room idea is almost exactly the same as my Neets rise up idea. But that completely misunderstands the fundamental aspects of each one. To the passerby, sure, I can forgive them for looking at the two philosophies and trying to go, okay, these are one and the same. The difference here is that one is about the individual and the other, the Neets rise up idea, is about being part of a collective and embracing that. Jordan Peterson is almost revulsed by the idea of being part of a collective. The idea of being an individual is paramount. One must exist as an individual, and that's a successful person. The clean your room idea is about emerging from your atomized state in order to be atomized eventually. Jordan Peterson wants you to go clean your room, follow a career, and then be an individual at the end of that. Work to become the most individual person you can be. I ask, what's the difference then between being in your room and isolating yourself to going out into the world and isolating yourself when you're successful? This is the fundamental principle of the Neets must rise up element. What Jordan Peterson misses is the part where we actually recognise human nature and we actually recognise that people want to be part of a community. We actually recognise that people want to be able to identify with other people. People want to embrace their race, their culture, their gender. All of these things people don't want taken from them. People don't want to be customised. These are traditional, natural senses of belonging that Jordan Peterson tries to ignore. Jordan Peterson, he wants the individual, the paramount example of atomization. I argue that that's not very great for mental health. I don't want Neets to rise up just to get a job at JD Sports, just to get a job at Wetherspoons. I don't think that's very helpful at all. If they're emerging from their atomized state and their sort of pattern, their Neathog day, if they're emerging from that and just going into another sort of Groundhog Day, going into another day where they're not feeling any sort of creative impulse, where they're not using their time to feel productive, let alone be productive, then I don't think that's worthwhile. That's just the same trap with a different name. You know, it's just the same. You may emerge from your four-walled bedroom and go into an office which has four walls. You know, these solutions that Jordan Peterson offers of careerism, that's not that's completely antithetical to the Neets must rise up idea. Neets must rise up because they need to be shocked into being. They need to realise that they are part of a collective, and they're part of a collective that's dying. The white birth rate is through the floor. When they reach, well, this is the thought that should get to them, because when they reach the age of being an old man, of drawing their pension, if they manage to get one that's not on the state, how do they think the world's going to be? What should shock them into action is recognising that if this trend carries on, then they're going to walk around outside and realise that there's no one, absolutely no one in this world that they can identify with, because their identity has been erased, has been systematically erased. That's what should shock you into being, not wanting a new car, not wanting a house, or this weird commune where you can live as an individual. That's absolutely not what you should be doing. You should be thinking about yourself in relation to other people, because no human exists in isolation. And if you buy Jordan Peterson's lie, if you throw him his money and give him, I think he earns about $38,000 a month, you give him that, then more fool you, because you're going to be sold a lie, and when you finally do embrace Jordan Peterson's ideas and he's long gone and you're an old man, you're going to realise that what you've worked for is the same as what you were doing when you were in your bedroom, atomised and individual. So, Neets must rise up. We've got to take action, and let's not listen to Jordan Peterson. Don't clean your room if you're going to be cleaning your room for a job at JD Sports. That's all I'm going to say.
Because I'm a reasonable person, a very reasonable person. My existence is characterized by suffering, and if I wanted to sick my internet trolls on Channel 4, then there'd be nothing but broken windows and riots. Wouldn't that be fun? Look the fuck out.